So you are welcome to the next section of investment appraisal that is called capital rationing. Capital rationing. Now, the word capital means that the investment appraisal that we have been doing, the focus now is on our capex, the capital expenditure. The capital expenditure. And also, when we look at rationing, it means that you have a limitation. There is a limitation. So, limitation. So, when we talk about capital rationing, we are looking at a situation where you have many investments to do. So, let's say you have project A to do, project B, and project C. Let's say project A is 100,000 or 100, project B is 200, project C is 300. So these are the capital expenditures you will need to be able to do these projects. Now, capital rationing is giving you a picture of where you, in general, the money that you have is 400. So we are looking at a situation whereby there is a limited amount of capital to invest in all these projects. All these projects. So there is a limitation on your capital. So it means that you cannot actually do all these projects. And so therefore, you have to ration it. And when we say rationing it, it means that because of the limitation, you are going to prioritize the projects. So basically, that is that. So a limitation that makes you prioritize or rank your spending. So as we are, I know that Jessica, if you get a Lamborghini, you will like it. If you get a mansion, you will like it. But the question is, do you have the resources for it? Oh, if you get a nice lady's shoe too, you will like it. So, given the funds that you have, you will now rank the projects that are ahead of you and now attribute it to the money that you have, to which ones you can do based on the money that is ahead of you. All right. Now, in the concept of financial management, we want to, the objective, the underlying objective, if you remember the first class, the underlying objective of a financial manager is to increase the shareholder wealth or shareholder wealth maximization. Shareholder wealth maximization. That is the general objective of financial management, which means that, and we looked at it in two main ways, but here we are looking at just the one, which means that the business must invest in positive NPV projects. So the NPV that you have been doing, it is actually what the financial reporting people will call it a profit. So if your NPV is positive, it means there is a profit. If your NPV is negative, it means what? A loss. Then if your NPV is zero, it means it's a break even. All right. So basically that is that. So the idea is that let's invest in positive NPV projects. So it means that if the project is not a positive NPV project, we don't even think about it. We won't do it. It's out. It's out. But the remaining positive NPV projects that we want to do, so assuming this one that we have, the NPVs of these projects, this one is 50, this one is 30, no, this one, let me say this one is 0, and this one is 70. In the first place, this project will be out. Or let's say we will consider it using other qualitative factors, not mathematical factors. Now, That said, let me come back and say, let's say this one too is negative 10 and this one is 70 again. It means we won't consider this one at all. We will now be looking at this project and this project if the money will be satisfied. All right. So basically that is that. So that is what capital rationing is about. A situation whereby a company has a limited amount of capital to invest, such that different possible investment needs to be compared with one another to be able to allocate the available resources to it. All right. So there is insufficient fund. So we need to prioritize. So that is what capital rationing is about. Now, there are two types or two causes of this capital rationing. It can come because of external or economy-wide factors. Or it can come via internal or management cost factors. Now, we have projects to do. We said we don't have the money. If I decide to go, there are so many ways I can get the money. I can go to the bank and borrow. But when I go to the bank to borrow, they tell me that the economy is tight, like the way our nation is right now. Wide economy, there is credit crunch, DDEP. I hope you have heard of that. Maybe you work in a bank, so you know more of that. DDEP. Aside the DDEP, the bank is telling me that I have no asset security. You have heard of this one, right? You don't have asset security. So if I give you the no, what will be the security? In P, we call it awowa. Then I would see awowa. So what is the security, the asset you are using to back the money? Then bank says you have no track record. They are the first people you are coming to borrow such an amount from them. So they don't really believe that you can be able to deliver on it. Poor management team. They see that your management team, their credibility and their credentials are not that strong. So these are external factors, all right? Or the company specific factors a bank will look at before giving you the loan. So those are the reasons. But there are other reasons that is just the company that has decided to put it on themselves. One of them is that they lack the management skills. Because they lack the management skills, they can't even negotiate to get some of these funds. Or sometimes they wish to concentrate on the few projects that they have. They don't want to go overboard. What they have, they will do that. Or other times too, they have this thing of we should not borrow. A debt makes you a slave, so don't borrow. So all those things that management decisions causes them not to raise those funds. That is internal factors. Please, let me hereby tell you that these theories are always in your exams. Don't think it's all about the calculation. It is the theories are always in your exams. All right. So these are the and you have the book. So I shouldn't be spending much time on doing this. But let's go to the other aspect. Let's go to the other aspect. So now, in terms of the figures, let's look at how capital rationing is done in the figures. Now, we have single period capital rationing. If you look at capital rationing and time, you have a single period capital rationing. All right. Then we have the multi-period. All these things are not something you should really bother yourself with. But what you should understand is that we have a situation whereby you have two projects, let's say, and in that two projects, it's either you do A or B. You understand? So your money can make you do A or B, or sometimes part of B. So what you see here is that there is an opportunity cost. If you choose A, you may not be able to do fully B. So in that situation, there is an opportunity cost. Because you can't do both. There is an opportunity cost. And good news for you sometimes is that the projects can be divisible. The two projects can be divisible, meaning that if I do A, let's say A is 100,000, 100 project, B is 200 project, by my money is 250. If I do A, I will be left with 150. So I can only do 150 of B. I can't do the entire 200. That is what we mean by divisible projects. All right. So in the divisible projects, let's talk about how we do the divisible project. When you are doing divisible projects, we use one. You will need to calculate the profitability index. So step one is to calculate profitability index for all the projects. Profitability index for all the projects. There are so many methods of calculating profitability index, but I stick to this one. Profitability index, PI, is equal to the NPV of the project. Some even use the PVs, but I like the NPV. The NPV of the project divided by the initial investment. That is your capex. Your initial investment, your capex. So we are going to use this formula to actually, when you calculate it for each of the projects, so you are calculating it for each project. Then step two is to use the profitability index to rank the project. So the higher the profit, the higher the priority. So if project A has a profitability index of, let's say, 20, and B has a profitability index of 15, then it means I will do A first before I come and consider B. That is that. The higher the profitability index, the higher the priority. Step three is for you to then allocate your resources. To the project that you have run. All right. So this is all about it. Let's pick figures and work it. So this is how you do a divisible project. So let's look at this illustration. Can somebody read for me? Please, someone should read the question for me, the illustration one. Jessica, please help out.
A company has 100,000 cedis available for investment and has been identified the following 5 investments in which to invest. All investments must be started now. Year zero. Required. Determine which project should be chosen to maximize the return to the business. Project, initial investment, NPV.
It's okay. So as you can see, now, as you see here, the project's initial capital have been given and the NPVs have been given, and you have 100,000. You see, your 100,000, you can't do this, you can't do this, like all of them. You may have to do some. But will we consider project G in our analysis? Will we consider project G in our analysis?
No,
Why?
because it has a negative NPV.
All right. So that is that. Now, so if that one is out, which ones will our 100,000 do? Assuming this one is divisible. So if it is divisible, then it means we said we need to use the profitability index. So let's do the profitability index, the PI, for all the project. Project C. Pick your calculators and let's do it quickly. Project C, project E, project F. That is what we will be doing. So the profitability index for C will be how much? NPV over the initial investment. The next one, NPV over initial investment. NPV over initial investment. So start giving me the answers, please.
The
Calculators.
first one is 0.5.
0.50. Okay, next. This one will be 0.35. Yeah, next.
0.48.
0.48. Next.
0.3.
0.3. So in terms of ranking, which one should we do first?
Please just see.
C will be first. Then what?
E.
E second.
Then D. Then D.
E third. So this one will be fourth.
Okay.
But our money is 100,000. So let's start. If we do C, sorry. So if we do C, we want to know those ones by ranking, but we want to maximize our NPVs. So if we do project C, so let's say, like, let's do it like this. The keepers, we have 100. All right. And all the figures are in 3 zeros. Don't forget. So if we do project C, it means project C, the keepers, how much are we going to spend? 40, right? That is it. And the NPV of project C is 20. That's what we are going to get. Our money is left with 60. We said the next thing for us to do is project E. We can do E, can't we? So let me write projects here. We can do E, and it is going to cost us 50, the capex. So it means that the NPV of E, we can also get it, and the NPV of E is 24. The money is left with only 10.
10.
So good news is that projects are divisible, which means that we can do part of the next project, which is project D, project D. How many can we do out of project D? It's only 10 out of the 100 that is required of project D. Is that not it?
No.
The D requires 100. It's only 10 we have out of it. And if 10, you can do 10 out of it, then it means that when it comes to each MPV to you get only 10 out of the NPV, which is also what? 35. So that is what you can get. If the project was 70, you would have done 10 over 70 over multiply by the 8 NPV, because we can only do part of it. And 10 of this will give us 3.5. Is that not it? So in total, we can get like 47.5, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is
Yes.
how we do a divisible project. That's how we do it. All right. So you do the profitability index, you will rank it, and you use the ranking to do this formatting then that we have done to ascertain the NPV of it. So that is that. That is that. So the requirement that says that determine which project should be chosen to maximize. You've done the ranking and everything, and that is how much you have. All right. So that is that. But we have indivisible projects. Some projects are not divisible. They are not divisible. So it means that, and especially the multi-period stuff, this one, where did I do that one? Yeah, indivisible project. Indivisible project. So if you have indivisible projects, how are you going to deal with it? Indivisible. For indivisible projects, it's easy. We use try and error. It's common sense approach. We use try and error. So we are going to use the same example, all right? But we are going to use try and error. Now, look at the same question, the 100,000. Try and error, we don't do any profitability index. So always read, when you are reading the question, find out whether the question is telling you that the projects are divisible or indivisible. If the project is divisible, you will use the profitability index. But if the project is indivisible, then you are going to use try and error. Try and error says that, oh, I have 100,000, and these are the projects that are available for me with their respective NPVs. Which ones can I do? Look at it. With the 100,000 you have, which projects that can you do? Remember, the projects are not divisible. So which ones can you do? Look at it and tell me which ones can you do with the 100,000? Like, it's a common sensical approach. It's not calculation. But so look at it. You have 100,000. You have investments and their capital expenditure. Which ones do you think you can do? Yes, yes, please be fast, be fast. Yes, Jessica,
Please, the D.
you can do D. Okay,
Yes, please.
so D. If we do D, the NPV that we will get is what? 35. Is that all? Is that all you can do? Look at it carefully. Debbie, if you want to say something, say. Let's run fast.
Okay. So C and E.
C and E. C is 40. E, yeah, C plus E. Because both of them is 90. But the 10,
Yes.
we can't do it. None of them is divisible. So if we do C and E, their NPVs are 20 plus 24. That is 44. All right. Is that all?
C and
Um.
F.
C and
So
F.
you can do C and F.
C and F. I hope nobody is going to say something and G. You felt like saying it, right?
No, no, no.
Okay. Because G is a no-go area. So C and F.
Yes.
If C and F, the NPV of C will be 20 and F's own is 18. That is like 38. So we want
38.
the one that gives us the highest NPV because we want to maximize shareholder wealth. So which one will you do then? In conclusion,
Um,
which one out of these three? Which one will you go for?
Um,
The C and E.
The C and E, because that is the one that has the highest NPV. It's as simple as.
highest
All right, so that's how we do indivisibles. There is nothing calculation, there is nothing this. Now, so in your exam, what the examiner is going to do is that you see all these things that we did using the profitability index. And in that question, he gave you the NPV. So in your exams, he will not give you the NPV of maybe one or two of them, so that you use your knowledge that you use. I mean, the lessons that we have done under MPV, you will use those things, those knowledge to do the NPV. He will give you the information. He will give you, and you will use the knowledge to do the NPV, so that you come and include those NPV into the already given NPV. Then you are now able to do your profitability index for the project. So that's how the examiner goes about it. And that's why I said next week we will spend time solving questions. All right. So let's go a step further. So we have learned how to do divisible project, indivisible project. The last thing for us to actually learn to do is to have projects that are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. When we say something is mutually exclusive, it means they can never be together. They can never be included together. Yeah. So I was telling the face-to-face class yesterday that for every man, as you are marrying, women become mutually exclusive to you. Because the moment you choose one, all the others, yes, they can have all the best attributes, all the best look, everything. But as far as I'm concerned, you are mutually exclusive. So forever exclusive. Mutually means forever. So in projects, if I tell you that the examples that we have done now, these examples, let's even go to the first one, the profitability index one, this one. If I now tell you that, and those are the examples, the same examples that you have, the same examples. If I now, so let's use those ones to deal with it. If I now tell you that project C and E are mutually exclusive, what does it mean? It means that anytime you do C, you cannot do E. That's the meaning. You can either you do either or, you can't do both together. So given this example that we did, let's say C and E are mutually exclusive. It means that if we choose C as first, we can't do E, so automatically this one becomes second. Please, do you understand it? Then automatically this one becomes what? Third. Is that okay? Please, is that okay?
No, sir, please go over it again.
I said the thing is mutually exclusive. And it means that if you do C, you cannot do E. Do you understand it?
Yes,
And so once I have said I am doing C first, there is no way on earth I can do E. Do you understand that?
yes,
And if I cannot do E, E cannot be my second one.
okay.
So you have to move on to the next one. Now, if because of that, I can also decide to come and do E first. Why? Because I cannot do C and make this one my second and make this one my third. Why? Because if I want to do E, I cannot do C, and C was first. And since I cannot do C first, E becomes the second one becomes automatically the first one, just as the third one became the second one. So that is the meaning. Mutually exclusive. If you touch C, you cannot touch E. As simple as that. So let's see which combination will give us the highest NPV, because that is what we want to achieve. All right. So let's say I do E first. So the project, the 100,000. And let's say I do C first. So I am doing C, which is costing me 40. And it's divisible. Don't forget, this side is divisible. I will be left with 60. And the NPV was what? 20. But I cannot do E. I can't. Because if I do C, I cannot. Please take that thing in your head. That the thing, they are mutually exclusive. If you marry Ama, I think in Ghana we have that thing, right? Blood something. That if you go into a family, you cannot marry. I think there's something like that. Traditionally, Ghana has some things like that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. So the thing is that in investment appraisal, what I'm saying is that when we say something is mutually exclusive, two projects are mutually exclusive. If you do one, you cannot do the other. That's the fact. And that ends it. So since we have done C and we cannot do E, then it means the next one we should turn our attention to will be the D. And the D2, it costs 100,000. But because it's divisible, it means we can do 60 out of it, right? 60 out of the 100,000. That's what we can do. And so therefore, we can only get 60 of its MPV. The MPV is 35. So what will we get?
$21.
That makes the total MPV becomes 41. Now, it is two projects that are mutually exclusive. And so now let's say we are also not doing the C, which means if we are not doing the C, then the E becomes our automatic first, which is going to cost us 50. And we will have NPV of 24. Sorry. Then we have balance of 50. The next thing we can do is still the D. So this time round, we can only do 50 over the capital expenditure of D. So it will be 50 over the D multiplied by 35, which is what? 17.5, right? Half of it. And that one will give us what? That's like 40.
38.5.
What?
Hey,
Is it 38?
41.5.
41.5.
41.5.
All right. So given this combination, which one do you think we should go for? Which one do you think we should go for? Should we consider this grouping, or we should do these ones?
We should do the EMD, the 41.5.
The 41.5. So that is all. That is all. All right. Let's come to this one, the try and error one. C and E are mutually exclusive. What does it mean? It means that we cannot do both of them together. So automatically, this side is out. It's out. And if those sides are out, we are left with these two. So which one will you do?
There's 38. The C plus F.
The C plus F. So you go for this one. So basically, that is all about capital rationing. All right. So the only thing for you to do now is to solve past questions. So we are going to solve this past question, and we will call it a day. There are other past questions, but we will solve them later. All right. So let's solve this past question, and we will solve the other questions later on. So you will have some more to do when you are at home. Later on, we'll come to risk and uncertainty. This is what we'll do next week, Wednesday. Then we'll do a specific investment decisions, which is already on the platform, so you can watch some of it before. Then it's all about past questions for the rest of the period. So we go into working capital management. All right, so this is the question. And this is an exam question, December 2022. It says that in periods of difficult global financial environment, raising capital is a challenge, necessitating the need to prudent and best use of scarce resources. That alone. This statement alone is the definition of capital rationing. You remember, right? A situation whereby you have limited capital, and so therefore you have to rank your project in terms of how much you have and efficiently allocate the funds to those projects. And so in the exam, they say explain capital rationing for 2 marks. You should be able to do that. They said explain or distinguish between soft capital rationing and hard capital rationing, giving examples. I gave you examples. Then, so this one alone is 5 marks. That's why I tell you that. Good news is that you bought my FM book. So you can't be lazy. You must read the reading parts and make your small notes out of it. If you want to pass the paper, that's how you do. When the exams is closer, it is your small notes you made for the theory you are going to be reading. Your small notes. And if you never made one, that's a problem. So make your small notes of your own understanding of the theory so that you can be writing them. All right. So let's come to the calculation. So we have Akonta has excess funds of 200 million and is looking for attractive investment opportunities that will yield a return of 15% or better to deploy the fund. An extract from feasible reports submitted by a team of investment and project experts are as follows. So we have project A, B, C, D, and E, and these are the initial investments. These are the constant inflows, annual inflows. The cash flows per project is constant for the lifespan of each project, and each project is divisible for the purposes of allocation. I calculate the NPV of the project. You know that, who remembers the formula for profitability index? Do you remember? We just did it today. Do you remember the formula for profitability index? What's the formula for profitability index?
The NPV over the initial investment.
NPV over the initial investment. So that will be for the II. But you see in the question, there is no NPV there. You will now should calculate the NPV, and that is the I part. Now, anytime, and we have done this, if the cash flows are equal every year, you have to use annuity. You remember that? If all the cash flows are equal, you must use annuity. So when you were watching the delayed and the advanced annuity, you remember, whenever the cash flows are equal, you must use an annuity factor to save time. So we know that whenever we are doing NPV, we must start with the inflows, then we take out the capex. So what you can do, the shortcut you can do for these kind of questions is that you pick the projects. You have project A, B, C, D, and E. Then you bring in the annual inflows, annuity factor, so that you get the PVs of those annuity factors. Then you already have the PV of the capex. You already have it. Capex is always at year 0. You already have it. They've given to you. So capex here is 80 million. This one is 40 million. To save time in exams, you can just put 3 zeros at the top, and you will be writing only the zeros here, not the full one. That one will help you save time. So 78 million, 40 million, another 40 million. These are the capex. The inflows is 36 million. It is the same for every year. So you are doing for the timing. This one is 1 to 4 years. This project is 1 to 4 years. It's 36 million. This is the inflows is 3 years, 1 to 3, and it is 23,000 million, sorry. So I may shorten the figures, but you should understand what I'm doing. This one is 30 million. This one is 20 million. And this one is 22 million. So these figures are the same for 3 years running, 4 years running, 5 years running, 3 years running, and 4 years running. And if it is the same, we learn that you must use the annuity factor. So go to your table, pick your book. You have the books with you. Go to your table and read for those ones quickly, the annuity factors. So this is the annuity factor formula. In the question, what was the discount factor? 15%, right? I didn't even check the page of the question. So let me see if I can go back. The page of the question is page 173, and it is 15%. So let's read the 15% annuity factor. This is the formula for annuity. So remember it. Annuity factor. What is 15%? 15%. All right. So 15%, the first one is 4 years, right? So 15% for 4 years will be what? If you can read, mine is here. 2.855. Do you see it?
Yes.
This one is 3 years. So 15 for 3 years is what?
2.283.
2.83. I didn't write the others. So
Two
let's go
times
to our 173. Let's know the years. So this one is 5 for 5 years. This one is 4 years, and this one is 3 years. I think the 3 years we already know is 2.283. So and the 4 years is 2.855, right? So let's go and read the 5 years. For 5 years, 15%, 5 years. 3.3.
3.335. 3.352.
So now do the multiplications fast and get us the PVs. Please, when you are doing it, don't forget to put currency signs. All right. Somebody can start from the bottom. Others can start from the top so that we can be a little faster. So I'm doing the fourth one. 20 multiplied by 2.855. So that gives me 5710000. Then I'm doing the third one also. Be fast, please be fast.
So the first one,
Mm-hmm.
102780000.
102.
27780. Then 3 zeros.
Mm-hmm. I'm having this one to be 100560000.
Please, the second one.
Mm-hmm.
52509 and the
Five,
zero zeros.
five, to
to 509.
the 000.
And the last one is 50226.
It is right. All right. So now
Yes, please.
do the NPVs because you have a capex, you have the inflows. What will be your NPVs? Which is this side versus you are adding them as NPV. So add them. Let's flow. So for me, this one I think 40 will be out of this, so it will be 10, 2, 6, 2, 2, 6, 0, 0, 0. This one to 40 will be out of it. You'll be left with 17, I guess. 1, 0, 0. You take 78 from 100, you get 22, right? 22.
So the first one,
Uh-huh.
227800000.
87000. Okay.
227800000. The
Oh,
87, the 7 is 0.
22780.
80000.
000. Okay.
Yes.
And this one too, if you take 40 out of 52, it should be giving us 12,509,000. That's correct, right?
Ye- Yes.
So that's all you need. You are done. For this is what you are doing for 7 marks. This is all. You know what you are about. It shouldn't take you 5 minutes, guys. Then we have been asked to do the profitability index. So from here, you can do the profitability index. You just take the NPV over this one, right? NPV over this one, NPV over this one, NPV over this one, NPV over this one. Can you do that and let's end the class? NPV over the capex. Forget the negative. Just put the figure there. The figure over the capex. That's all. Don't make it a negative. Because we are using it for ranking. I told you some people even use the PI and the capex. The initial and the capex. But the best is to use the NPV. So let's be quick about it. Because I think you have it here, Graf. So yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
the first one, that's the A.
Mm-hmm.
My answer is 3.511. Should I run it for it to be
The
4?
profitability index.
Um,
No, you don't need to rank. It's 3 point what?
3.511.
Please don't run figures on your own. Let the examiner instruct you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Always let the examiner instruct you. Unless it is money you are writing, then if you run it to, you must state it in the answer booklet that you rounded it. Don't leave it like that. Here's the next one. You see, I told you some in this question they use the PVs to do the ranking. So they did PV for the PVs that you did. This ones. This one divided by the capex. You can decide to do that, but check it well because your answer, if we are not using it, it should be 0 point something. No?
0.28.
Yes, your answer is wrong.
Okay. Let me.
It's 0.28. Now, so you had it, you were silent. Hey,
I was trying to confirm and see if what you were saying, will I get it?
so confirm all of them. Because the difference between what these people did and this is that they've taken the year one out. So out of the figure that is inside this one. So they will get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. So since we did that, it will be 0
Okay.
0 0 0
The second one, is correct. I have 0.31.
Yeah, so all of them will be like that.
Okay.
So your ranking will be, like you see, this one is first. The next
The
second.
third one is second.
This one should be third,
Third.
fourth,
28. Fourth.
and fifth. So that is it. That's all. This is how we do it. So a past question like this, how many marks for everything? You learned your theory. You have also done this. This is 5 marks. And this side too is 10 marks. So 15 marks, you go your way. Shouldn't be difficult. You go your way. That's all. All right. So this is where we end the concept of capital rationing. I think there are other past questions. So when we are solving them, when we get there and we are solving them next week, you will see most of these things. I'm sure. I remember when I was doing ICA back in 2016, there was a question like that. I'm sure that question is in your manual. So the examiner decided to omit one of the NPVs so that he gave us information to calculate that part of the NPV. And we came then to use the profitability index to do it. It's, I think this is the question. No, this is not it. This is not it. There's a question like that. I know it is in your book, but it's just that, yeah, I know it's in your book. It's a very nice question. It requires you to do a lot. This is it. Question 5. This is it. You see, he has given you the initial outlay for all the projects. But for the NPV, so this thing, please, if you have the book, shift it. The initial outlay is this side. Then you shift the NPV to this side. You see this one, it said not yet known, project B. And he gave you all the information for project B. These are the sales, these are the costs, this is the inflation, everything. So you do it to get the NPV, and then you come and do the profitability index of all the things. So what is the investment decision? You will do it, then you come and do the. It will tell you that some of them too are divisible, are mutually exclusive. It was a nice question. So that is it. So get ready for it. We will be looking at the past questions next week. So by next week, we will be around about page 200 and something, so that as you are preparing with the book, you are getting closer to the finishing line. So just get yourself prepared. So by next week, we are 224. All right. So we will pick up from the following weeks. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. And we will meet on Wednesday. God bless you.